They give them senior. You have Louis. I got some bring straight. Y'all, let's do that. How about you some shorts and
the MLK prep school. And as you can see by the post, this young man had been teased for being poor pretty much, because he wore the same thing to school every day. Now, he probably was clean. He probably washed and cleaned his clothes every day, but you could tell he was poor. So he had the same clothes on every day. And the group of boys, his classmates that had heretofore teased him and given him a hard time, actually showed compassion by sharing what they had and buying him clothes and shoes. So why am I showing you this? What's the reason for doing this particular video? Because lately it's been going around for the past couple of weeks what manhood or masculine is in the black community. And masculinity, especially on these YouTube streets, has always been defined as fucking and fighting. Your physicality. What can you prove to the next man? The competition of one man over the other. And what's left out is the cooperation, because the strength in human beings is strength in manhood. It's not the competition, it's the cooperation. It's not the competition between so-called alphas and betas. It's a cooperation between alphas and betas. You can't have a leader of the group without the group. You can't have leaders without followers. You can't have people that stand out front without people that are willing to get behind you. The closest people to the star in the field are not the people in the stands. He gets admiration for people in the stands, but the closest people to him are not the people in the stands. The closest people to him are his brothers on the field that block for him, or pass him the ball, or helps him play defense. Those are his boys. That's his group. That's his pack. Those are his brothers. Being an alpha male, being masculine is not an individual sport. And this is what's demonstrated by these kids in high school. This is being a man. Masculine and being a man aren't always the same thing. Growing up to be a man means more than just you being able to kick somebody's ass or you being able to attract a woman. Being a fucking man is being able to withstand adversity. That is traditionally what being a man is. It's not being dominant. It's being able to withstand adversity. The trial of manhood, that was always the rites of passage. They sent you on a mission that would humble you. You weren't able to outdo nature. You had to survive in it. Nature was always going to humble you. When you went on a vision quest and you're out there in nature in the cold and without food for days, that's supposed to humble you. That's supposed to bring fortitude in you to do what? To overcome adversity, overcome your body, overcome your limitations. Any athlete, any star athlete, any outstanding businessman, any fighter worth his salt is not looking for the weak. Those are bullies. They're looking to match themselves against a worthy opponent, against another brother. Why? Because they want to know where they stand. They're matching themselves up against adversity. And then on the other hand, to show compassion, to teach and show compassion to people that are lesser than they are, to cooperate, to bring that brother in, to bring him in and show him mercy. Because to be a man, to be a father, you have to have those three things. Having a family, being a father, is two things. You have to be able to be persistent, because you got to be there. You have to overcome the adversity of raising children and taking care of a being that can't take care of itself. And you have to have the mercy to understand what that being needs and to give it to him in spite of yourself. And as a leader, that's what you have to do, no matter who you lead or coach. You got to have those three components. Those are what the rites of passage is supposed to teach you. That's supposed to go from so-called masculine to manhood, because that's part of being a man. And that was demonstrated just in that clip, in that small clip. And what did that young man say? He said it's the best day of his life, because his brothers, not the women, his brothers that could have teased him, could have beat him down, could have made his life hell, showed him mercy, showed him compassion. Instead of kicking him when he was down, they gave him a hand up. It also showed the tenaciousness, because that's what it takes. In any sport, it takes tenaciousness. You got to go out there every day and you got to beat your head up against your body and the limitations of it and push through it on a daily basis. That's the only way you get better. For that young man to go to school for weeks in the same, knowing he's going to school for weeks in the same clothes, knowing that he's going to get teased and laughed at and snickered and bullied and punched on and challenged every day. You know, you got to go to school in that backpack and those old clothes amongst 1,000 people and be judged. And you got to withstand that kind of social pressure, because a lot of people, a lot of guys would fold under that social pressure and they just wouldn't go, especially young men, especially young black boys that don't have shit in this country to look up to. It's easy for young black boys to fold, especially at a prep academy where they're elite, where most of these people that you're surrounded by have way more than you. But you know, your only shot out, your only way out is through that gauntlet. And the gauntlet it's not just a one-time thing. You got to go through that stuff for days and weeks and years. You got to walk through that gauntlet to get what you need to get. And probably this is just the beginning, because when you get to college, you got to go through the same thing. That is the true test of manhood. That is your rites of passage that you got to walk through daily. They say in the Christian religion, to be truly Christian, to really get closer to your God, you have to get up on that cross and be nailed to that cross on a daily basis. That is your true test of Christianity. The true test of manhood is to persevere. And this young man showed it. Even in those few weeks, the true test of manhood is persevering to survive. Now, my children never had to go through that. But being a poor kid from a poor neighborhood where there's literally nothing in that neighborhood, I mean literally nothing in that neighborhood, except welfare moms and poor-ass hungry kids on the street trying to steal people's lunch money so they could eat. I was one of those kids that had to walk through that fucking gauntlet every day. And I know what it feels like. And for this kid, you know, he had to shed a tear on both sides. For that kid who never had shit, and probably the shit that he had on was donated to him, but had to come to school hungry every day. But he knew his only shot out was this. And for the brothers to actually show him compassion and say, "You one of us." Those are the kind of men that I want. Those are the kind of brothers that I want. Those are the kind of men I want to lead the community, because those are the people that you need to make this society better. So all I got for this one, brothers. This is BGS out, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.